I'm quite pleased with this so far. As you see, I'm doing a loose weave. Let me take you in closer so you can see that there's a good bit of space between this weft yarn and the next weft yarn. There's a gap in there. You can even see the holes. Now when I wet finish this afterwards, some of that will close up, but I'm doing that deliberately so I can have a nice loose weave. It makes the weave go faster, and it uses less yarn, obviously, a good bit less yarn. You do have to have good tension in order to be able to do this so that it doesn't end up with gaps when you loosen your tension as you weave along. So, I'm very pleased. I've put in some of this slightly, this is more of a lavender or a lilac color, and then next I think I'll do a little bit of white and then some yellow and continue with that general theme as I go along. In addition, I forgot that I wanted to do a pickup stick pattern on this, and so I'm adding this now. I'm just temporarily using this shuttle to do a pickup pattern of 2 up and 2 down. See, 2 on top of the shuttle, 2 below, okay? And then I want to move that to the back and put my real pickup stick in, which I'm going to use this one, okay? This is just a yardstick that's broken. So I took this little shuttle and I put it up on its end like this, and that raises the same threads back behind the heddle, so I can very easily take this broken yardstick. Let's do the other end that does not jagged, and I can stick that in there. You can really see the pattern underneath there, okay? And now I can take this one out. Now I've done a little bit of work with pickup sticks years ago. I don't really remember. I'm going to just try to start a pattern of maybe doing it using the pickup stick every, say, third shed, and see how that works. And we'll see if we get a fun pattern. My experiment has turned into a very strange pattern. I put the pickup stick when it was in the down shed, which is you're supposed to do. It's left me with some really, of course these are deliberate floats, that's the pattern you see, but they are pretty long. Hope that's okay in a dish towel. But what I wanted to show you now is I've put my pickup stick now to the front because I'm doing it every 4. You see I did it on the second pass here, and then I did 1, 2, 3, and now I'm doing another one, and I'm playing what they call shed chicken here. I'm right up to the top of my heddle. But I wanted to show you this this little maneuver here on the end. You see, if I put my shuttle in right now, and I pull that yarn through, I want you to see what it does. Look, I've missed this thread on the edge, and I don't want to do that. It needs to be kept in, otherwise it'll just float loose. So what you have to be careful of when you're doing pickup sticks especially is that you pick up that end yarn as well. Okay, sorry about the dogs. So you have to go underneath that one and then go into your pickup pattern. Okay. That is much tidier, much neater. Okay? So here's this portion of the weave with a pickup stick pattern. I finally did put it in the down shed, and then did a 1 up, 1 down. Okay, so that the floats wouldn't be so big. And actually looking through the camera, it looks better, especially the yellow against the purple. The contrast brings out the pattern. That's kind of pretty. It's a bit lost in the yellow on yellow. And interestingly, the white really doesn't show up in the, well, it does on the camera, but it really doesn't to the eye. Anyway, I think I'll continue this pickup stick pattern with the other colors. This towel is only supposed to be about 22, 23 inches long total, so I'm kind of getting to the end of it, I believe. Okay, we'll keep on going. Well, I've made some progress. I finished the first towel here, and you see I've got that thin cotton thread, crochet thread border here, and then I put in 3 cardboard spacers to give me some room between the end of this towel and the beginning of this towel. Now I'm not going to have fringe, so I don't need a lot of room, but I need enough room that I don't lose these last warp threads. Then I started with more cotton. I did 5 passes of that. And I think on this second one, I'm not going to use a pickup stick. I think that made it overcomplicated on something that I'm doing dishcloths for the first time. Although I have done, twice before, done 2 different weaves in 1 warp. So now I'm just going to move through some more colors. This is the darker purple that matches the warp pretty well. I think I'll use some pink and maybe that purple variegated. It'll give it a pop of green. We'll see what that looks like. We're getting quite close to the end. As you see, there's the back of my warp, and I've extended it away from the back roller as far as I can. This means that the shed is pretty problematic, especially in the down shed. You can see it's really difficult to find. The bottom yarns that go through the eyes, they're in a nice line, but the ones on top and the slots are pretty messy. And so when you take your shuttle, you should get it in there carefully and then really try to keep it as low as possible. It is really trying to go under the radar, as they say. And even when you get it to the other end, you kind of wonder, But the trick that's really useful is just to lift it up. And then you should be able just to scan your eyes along the length of that shuttle and see that you have kept all of the right strings on top and all the right strings on the bottom. So in a few minutes I'll be finishing up this last color. I really only used the purple, the pink here, and the purple again. I'm just not used to weaving things as short as a dish towel, and there's just not a lot to them. You're done before you know it. So I'm going to finish this up and then do my little thin border on that end, and we'll start cutting off and finishing those hems. Now I've gotten to the very top of my warp, and I looked at Kelly Casanova's video about doing dishcloths and what she recommends. Now she doesn't do this bit of thin weft in order to cut down the bulk of your hem, but I think that must be a very good idea. Anyway, but what she does say is at the end to do a zigzag stitch on your sewing machine along here. She says zigzag really works better for woven fabrics. Just to secure it, and so I'm going to treat this very gently as I get it off of here and leave all the fringe that I can, even though I'm going to cut it short later. I want to leave all the fringe I can up there while I do the zigzag stitches on the ends of both towels. So I have 4 rows of zigzag to do, and I think I'll probably, of course I'll put them here along the very top, and because I want them to be hidden later, and I think I'll zigzag across and zigzag back. That should make it nice and secure. Before I could sew, I had to dig my sewing machine cabinet out from underneath all the stuff on top of it. Y'all know how that is. Now I'm going to sew along this very first edging, and I want you to notice that I just slipped these knots off the front warping beam out of the little rope I had on them, the little cord, and I didn't even untie these knots because I'll be cutting them off, so I'm not going to wear my fingers out with that. Now, this sewing machine is about as old as I am, but it does have a zigzag function. I'm going to go back again, and I'm going to make that about the widest zigzag I can. Hopefully going back it'll be a little bit easier. Although that wasn't hard. Come over. Okay. Alright, let's look at this. I want you to see what this looks like. Kelly Casanova, is that right? Yeah, Kelly Casanova, wonderful weaver. I watched her video, and I'll put it up there. She used her serger, and I just want you to look at this edge. Her serged edge did not really look significantly different from that. Except for she, by the time she showed it to us and was ironing it, she'd already cut the fringe off, which I'm going to do now. Fairly close, but not too close. Okay, and then I'll finish the other 3 and I'll get back to you. Well, we're into afternoon now, and I have sewn up these edges of my dish towels, and let's see what we have. The first dish towel is about the length that I wanted, which means that my warp was too short because the second one was not. But that's just a perfect size for a dish towel. Look at that, isn't that nice? This is the one that had the pickup pattern in it, and so it's got, these aren't, I mean, they're not floats, they're intentional, but it's got some longer strings, and that's a really good reason to wet finish it, which honestly just means to hand wash it gently and put it in the dryer and let all of these fibers fluff a little bit and come closer together. Let's look at our length here. This is just, yeah, it's about 19 inches. It's a little bit short for a dish towel, but it's okay. And the width is very good. That's just perfect. I really should probably count my warp threads. Now, I hope you understand, I am such an amateur weaver. This is really more for entertainment than for training purposes. But what's going to happen with this edge is I'm going to wash this and dry this, and then I'm going to iron it really well. I'm going to fold this over. This is where the crochet thread comes in so handy. Fold it over once, fold it over twice. I will probably have to hand stitch this because I cannot imagine getting that through my sewing machine. If she's an old lady and doesn't do that kind of stuff very well, and I understand that feeling. So my edge is going to look a bit like that, okay? And then I'll iron it down really well. Now, so this has got a bit of a pattern to it. It's kind of fun. It won't be so bumpy later. I guess this is more the pattern side. See? Actually, it really looks better on the camera than it does in person. That's so funny. All right. Oh dear, where'd the other one go? Oh, it's in my lap. Okay, so here's the other one. Oh my goodness, I don't know what to think about this. Look, it's wider than it is long. Look at that. Isn't that terrible? It ended up really, really short. I suppose I could still use it as just a little bit of a cloth. I'm sure it's useful. It's all cotton. It's the same as a dishcloth. Oh, the other thing that I need to do is anywhere that I have these little loose ends, like here. I know I have a yellow one somewhere. There's one at the corner here. I need to take a little. I have a plastic. I love this needle. This is a darning needle. It's pretty pliable, which is really nice. And I want to mention one little. This is just a little trick. When you have a short thread like this and you're trying to weave it in, it's really best to go ahead and weave in your needle, okay, like I might do it in here. Especially the shorter your little tail is, the more helpful this is. I weave it in, then I thread it through, okay, and then I pull it through the weave. All right. And it's just so much easier than threading it through the needle and barely being able to get your needle around. It's just, actually, that works great anytime. And isn't that a nice finish? You can barely see it's in there. Okay, we'll keep on going. Okay, I've put this with some of my Zote soap, which is a kind of a gentle laundry soap. And I've put this in some hot water. It's not dirty, so it doesn't really need to be cleaned. This just makes all of the fibers expand, and we'll give it a nice finish afterwards. So I'm going to let that rest until the water is tepid, and then I'll take it out, rinse it, and I'll put it in a mesh laundry bag and put it in the spin cycle, I think, of the washer to get it spun out. Here's the finished dish towel. This is the one with the pattern, the pickup stick pattern. I kind of decided this is the right side, and so when I did the hem, I turned it over this way. Yeah, I like that other side better than this side. don't you? I like that I put a border on each end. That worked out well. That was really just because I forgot about the pickup stick pattern until after I had started. Anyway, it's a small towel, but I think it'll work.